Hi Demaray chiropractic friends, my name is Abby Malmstrom and I'm the trainer in your back pocket from liveforitall.com. And I'm coming to you today with our first workout video of our 4-part Back to Fitness series. And what this series is going to be is 4 different workouts that are only body weight exercises. So you're not going to need any equipment for any of these workouts that we're going to be doing. And what we're going to do today in our first video is a gentle joint loosening warm-up just to get our joints and our muscles ready for some of the exercises that we'll be doing in our first circuit. Then we'll be getting into our circuit of 10 exercises. These 10 exercises in today's circuit are what I call the basics. These are the exercises that we need as our foundation in order to progress on to more advanced exercises in our upcoming workouts. After we complete our circuit, we'll be getting into a few different stretches that I'd like you to start doing at the end of all of your workouts. So today, let's get started. We're going to warm up together. We're going to do our joint loosening. It's a very gentle warm up, and then we'll get into our circuit followed by the stretches. So today's circuit, since these are the basics, the foundation, will eventually be able to be your actual warm up for future workouts. But today, it is our workout until we progress up to a more advanced level. So get ready, get set, and let's get started with our first Back to Fitness workout of the series. Our gentle joint loosening warm-up is an easy one to remember. We're going to start up at the top of the body and we're going to work our way down towards the bottom. So we're just going to start with the neck, and as we stand here to do our warm-up, what I want you to do is think of your posture. Imagine you're standing as tall as you can. You have a balloon string pulling the back of your head up. Your shoulders are relaxed, and you're engaging your abdominal muscles. And now the way I like to remind people of how to engage your abdominal muscles is to imagine you're zipping up pants that are just a little bit too tight. When you go to zip up those pants, you engage a very low abdominal muscle that I like to call the tight pant muscle. So hold in your tight pant muscle. That's going to engage your core. Stand as tall as you can, shoulders relaxed, and we're going to get started. So with that neck, all I want you to do is just side to side, just looking as far as you can, one side to the other, nice and gently, not overstretching it, just kind of getting some movement. And then come back to center. Now we're going to take the ear, bring it towards one shoulder. We're going to roll the chin to the chest, to the other side. Pause here for a second, and forwards again. So we're going forwards from one side to the other, just kind of waking up that neck a little bit, nice and gentle. We don't want to press too hard in any direction. And then coming back to center, and back up. Now let's get into our shoulders. So let's just roll those shoulders all the way forwards, all the way up like you're trying to touch your ears, and all the way back like you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. So make that circle as big as you can. And you can always do this warm up a few times through. We're just going to go through it once together, but you can go through it a few times on your own, or do a few more repetitions of each stretch or each warm up exercise as you go through it. Now we're going to add the elbows. So we're going to get a little bit more movement in the upper body. So you should feel a little bit more rotation in those shoulders by adding the elbows. Let's do one more, then we're going to add the full arm. So now the full arm, all the way up, all the way back, all the way down. So you're trying to stretch those arms as far forwards as you can, as far up as you can, as far backwards as you can. And at the same time, we're still engaging that tight pant muscle, and our spine is nice and tall. So our legs are slightly bent and slightly soft. We never want them locked out. And you might start to feel your fingers get a little tingly, getting that blood flow all the way down to the tips of the fingers. So all the way back, big squeeze between the shoulder blades. Great, shake out those arms. Now take your hands, bring them together, and what you're going to do is you're going to round your upper back. So imagine someone's taking your hands and pulling them forwards, and your shoulder blades are spreading apart. Then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring our hands out to the side, and we're going to squeeze between the shoulder blades, stretching the front of the chest, engaging the tight pant muscle so that we don't arch our back here. And do that again. Round it forwards, open it up. Round it forwards, open it up. Good, shake out those arms. Now we're gonna work on our trunk, and we're gonna do just a very easy, gentle twist, side to side, nice and gently. And then we're gonna add the arms like we're flowing them around. Give yourself a pat on the back. Trying to keep your hips forwards for now. And we're gonna add on with the foot. So now let's let our whole body rotate. Don't hit your hand on the pole like I did. And so now we're rotating just a little bit more. By rotating, notice that toe is lifting off the ground as I twist. Good, so you don't have to do the arms. You can keep your arms close if you want. Some options for you. Good, so keeping those feet nice and wide. Now we're gonna go into hip circles. And basically we're just pressing those hips all the way out to the side as we move our upper body around. In a nice big circle, waking up the hip joints. And as you come around, you may feel a nice stretch in the hip. That's great. If you want, you can hold it there for a few seconds as you continue all the way around. Notice if one side feels tighter than the other. Slight bend in your knees as you do this one. And let's go the opposite way. All the way around, pressing those hips out to the side. And one more time. So you're bringing your upper body all the way around, kind of like you're doing a hula hoop action as you press your hips the opposite way of your upper body. Good, so that's a nice little warm up for those hips. Next up, we're gonna bring our feet close together and we're going to do rock forwards and backwards on those feet. And as we rock forwards and backwards, you're gonna feel a little motion on the bottoms of your feet, but we're also waking up those knees. Now we're gonna take those knees and we're gonna go side to side, just very gently. So, just kind of getting that movement into that knee joint, not overextending, just small movements. And now we're gonna do figure eights. So you're gonna draw little figure eights with those knees. And guess what? We're gonna do that again, but we're gonna go one step lower. So drop it down and rock forwards and backwards. So now our thighs are starting to wake up and warm up a little bit more. Starting to ask them to do a little bit more work. We're gonna go side to side. And we're gonna do some figure eights. So rotating those figure eight positions. And let's go one more. Why not? One more lower and forwards and backwards. And side to side. By now you should feel your quadriceps on your thighs starting to burn a little bit. And figure eights. And great. Shake off those legs. Let's stand up nice and tall. Again, engage that tight pant muscle. Shift your weight to one foot as you find your balance. And circle the ankle. So if you have trouble finding your balance, you can hold on to a pole or a wall. Switch directions with your ankle. And let's switch feet. So again, find your balance. Circle the ankle. Both directions. And then place that foot down. So now that we've kind of hit most of the major joints in the body, we're going to put a little bit of it together. So bring your feet just a little bit wider than your hips. We're going to sit into a squat where we bring our butt back, we're on our heels, the arms come forwards, then we stand up, we're going to do that big arm circle again. So we're going to squat down, make sure your toes and your knees point in the same direction, and we're going to get into squats as part of our workout. But this is a great one just to put all the joints together. Sitting on those heels, standing up tall, big arm circles all the way back and around. You guys did awesome for this nice, gentle warm-up. Hope your joints are feeling a little bit looser and they're ready to get into our circuit of the day. Let's do one more of these. And give it one last shake off. Any last stretches you need to do, you can go back and repeat any of the ones that we've done if you feel like you need to. And now let's get into our workout. So the first exercise that we're going to do is what I call an inchworm. Now this is a great way to stretch as well as strengthen the body. So this is where we're going to start. So I'm going to demonstrate the inchworms, and I want you to go ahead and I want you only to do 3 of them in this first round of our circuit. So what you do is you stand at the edge of your mat, or if you don't have a mat, you're just on the floor, and we're going to start with a nice deep breath. As we breathe in, we bring the arms all the way up overhead, standing up nice and tall, and as we exhale, we're going to fold forwards with a nice flat back. You're gonna start to feel a stretch in the back of your legs. It's okay if you need to bend your knees, but you're gonna bring your hands all the way to the floor, and you're gonna walk yourself all the way out to a plank position. Holding here nice and strong, dropping the shoulders, pulling your abdominals up and in. And then after holding for a few seconds, you're gonna keep your legs straight, but walk your hands all the way back until you're on your feet. Again, it's okay to bend your knees. And then with a flat back, you're gonna inhale the arms all the way up, and exhale all the way down. You're going to repeat that 2 more times. Now if you can't go all the way down onto the ground onto your hands, I just want you to simply do the stretch. So you inhale and bring the arms up, and exhale and fold all the way down. So if you can't yet put your weight on your hands, just go ahead and do that stretch, and then come on back up, and exhale the arms down. So a little bit more advanced now. If you're more advanced, you're going to add a push-up into that inchworm. So you're going to inhale the arms up. You're going to exhale. You're going to fold forwards, getting a nice big stretch. And you're going to walk it all the way out to that plank. Now if you're more advanced, what you can do here is add a push-up, down and up. You can also do that push-up from your knees. Back up. And push yourself all the way back. Inhaling the arms up, and exhaling. So I want you to go ahead, do 3 inchworms, and then let's move on to exercise number 2. Exercise number 2 is what I call the YTA. This is a great exercise for anyone with bad posture. If you do have bad posture, I recommend you do 30 of these every single day, no matter what. So first thing you do is you stand up nice and tall by engaging your abdominal muscles. Shoulders are relaxed. You're going to bring your arms up into a big Y. From here, we bring our palms facing down to the T. Then the A is the most important part, so flip your palms forwards and bring them down and back. And as you do that, you're going to squeeze between your shoulder blades, and then you go right back up. So imagine you have a pencil between your shoulder blades. You're going to squeeze it together, working those back muscles, making sure you're not shrugging your shoulders at all. So there's your Y, your T, and your A, and make sure that that back doesn't arch. Keep those hips tucked under, focusing on the big squeeze in the back muscles. You're going to stretch out the chest and strengthen the back. Now if you're a little bit more advanced, you can do those YTAs while you balance on one foot. YTA. Okay, I want you to do 10 YTAs, and then we'll move on to exercise number 3. Next up, I want you to do 15 squats. So just body weight squats, making sure your feet are just wider than your hips. Toes are pointing forwards. Remember, wherever your toes go, your knees must follow. So with a tall spine, you're going to sit your butt backwards, staying towards your heels on your foot, not pushing through your toes. And then you're going to push through your heels to stand back up and squeeze your butt at the top. So 15 of these. So butt goes back, chest stays up. You can bring your arms forwards to counterbalance yourself from falling backwards, and then squeeze your buns every time you come on up to the top. Dropping your butt down nice and low, making sure your toes and your knees point forwards. Squeezing your butt at the top kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Down and up. Toes, knees, same direction. 15 squats. To make these squats a little bit more advanced, we're now going to do a squat with a side leg lift. So if you're ready to advance, you're going to do that same squat, but as you come up, instead of just standing up and squeezing, you come up and balance and lift that leg out to the side. Then you bring it back down, and then you switch sides. So you're lifting that leg, controlling it back down, alternating. Now it's really easy to drop the leg down or stick the toes up. Want your toes pointing forward so that you're lifting from the side of that leg, not from the front. So this is your advanced squat option. Next up, I want you to do 5 single leg balance touches on each leg. So a single leg balance touch is simply finding your balance on one foot and then touching the ground with both hands. So you're going to touch the ground. The opposite leg, as you can see, goes back. And then you stand up. You can reach your arms up nice and tall and repeat. So it's all about balance and control. 5 on each leg. Now if you're really off balance on one leg, it's okay to kind of keep that toe close to the ground or bend this knee, or do it near a wall where you can hold on for a little bit extra balance. But I want you to really focus on practicing making sure each leg is equally balanced, because that's a really important skill. So if you notice that you're way off balance on one side, I want you to try and work on that side a little bit extra. So now what we're going to do is hop on down to the ground for the rest of our exercises, which are all down on the floor. Next up, we have what's called a cat-cow stretch. This is a great one to help get some movement in your spine. So it's a yoga move, but it's also a great stretch. So we're going to come on down to the hands and the knees in what I call tabletop position, where your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and your back is nice and flat. Shoulders away from your ears. What you're going to do is inhale, and as you inhale, you're going to look up, you're going to stick your butt up, but you're going to drop your back down. And as you exhale, you're going to round your back up like a cat, and imagine you're looking at your belly button. Pull it in, pull it up, and really stretching out that spine. Inhaling up, and exhaling down. I want you to do 5 of these to get some movement in that spine. After your 5 cat-cows, we're going to go into bird dogs. So again, tabletop position, shoulders down. You're going to take the opposite arm, the opposite leg, and you're going to extend it up nice and straight. You're going to hold it for 1 to 2 seconds, and then you're going to slowly bring it back down and alternate sides. I want you to do 5 of these to each side. Trying to reach that hand forwards and press that foot backwards. Alternating side to side. Once you finish those 5 bird dogs, we're going to flip onto our back and we're going to do 5 roll downs. Again, this is a great one for your back as well as your core. So, a roll down is simply rolling down. You're going to roll down 1 vertebrae at a time, trying not to plop down. So as you roll, your back touches the ground, the arms come overhead. Now right here, it's really important to make sure that you're continuing to press your lower back into the floor. Try not to let it pop off the floor. So there you go, you're pressing your back down. That's going to engage your abdominal muscles. Then you're going to follow those arms all the way up, and as you come up, you sit up nice and tall and stretch those arms overhead. So 5 roll downs, controlling the movement, engaging the core every second of the exercise. It's slow, it's controlled. Now if you cannot come up on your own yet, what you can do is just simply use your arms to come back up and just focus on the way down. And as you practice, you will get better. You can also hold on to a weight, and that weight will help to, imagine I'm holding a 10-pound medicine ball. It's going to help to pull me up. That momentum and that counterbalance will help. So then, after you finish your 5 roll downs, you're going to go right into 10 V-sit twists. So you're in the position already. The V is the shape from your shoulders to your knees. The further back you lean, the more challenging it is, the more lower back and core control. So find where it's challenging for you. And you're just going to tap the ground 10 times to each side. Okay, so notice I'm not just moving my arms, I'm actually rotating my entire torso with me. To advance this exercise, you're going to lift your feet off the ground and allow your knees to rotate the opposite way of your torso. So you got 10 of those roll downs. Next up, we're going to roll all the way back down, so practice that roll down one more time, and we're going to get into our glute bridges. So we're going to do glute bridges where our heels are about a foot or so away from our butt, toes are pointing forwards, and your feet are about hip width apart. Hands are resting, shoulders are relaxed. You're going to press through your heels, and you're going to lift your hips up as high as you can, not allowing your back to dip, okay? I want you to tuck your butt under, squeeze your glutes. You might feel a stretch through the front of your thighs, that's great, and then you're going to tap back down. So again, hold it at the top for a couple seconds, squeeze, that way you can really get that focused squeeze on the back side, and that nice big stretch on the front side. 5 of these. On your 5th one, I want you to hold it up. So 5-second hold right here at the top. Okay, that hold is where you're going to really focus on an extra squeeze. And then what you're going to do is 5 on each leg individually. So now one leg goes straight up into the air. It's okay to bend your knee if you're very tight in your hamstrings, or try and get that leg straight and press up through that heel like you're trying to press your heel to the sky. And now you just have that one leg to lift yourself up, 5 on each leg. Lifting, and when you do single leg, you want to really make sure that that knee doesn't wobble in or out, just like you're focusing when you're on double leg. Don't let the knees wobble in or out. But when you're on one leg, it's a little bit more tricky, so you have to be a little bit more mindful of that knee. And we're going to finish up our entire workout with the final exercise, which is the plank. We're going to do a 10-second plank on our hands, and then followed by a 10-second plank on your elbows. And I'm going to show you the advanced way to go from your hands to your elbows, and I'll also show you the beginner way to get from your hands to your elbows. So, plank on your hands just like we did in that inchworm to start. We've come out to this position where our body is straight and strong. You're making sure not to dip the hips or stick them up into the sky. You're trying to keep a nice straight line, shoulders are dropped down. So you're going to hold this here nice and strong. Now advance to go to the 10-second plank on your elbows. All you're going to do is slowly lower yourself down without letting your knees come to the floor. On this plank on your elbows, palms are open facing each other, and they're about shoulder width apart. Okay? To modify anything, you just place your knees on the ground. Okay? So this is your modified plank, whether you're on your elbows or your hands. So if you need a break between each of the planks, you can lower to your knees, drop to your elbows, then lift back up into the plank. So there you guys have it. That is your entire 10 exercise stretch circuit. What I want you to do now is go back to the beginning and repeat it. I want you to try and repeat that 3 times. Congratulations guys on completing your first circuit of our Back to Fitness series. What I want to do now is show you a few stretches that I'd like you to start doing after you complete your workout. We're going to start standing up with our upper body with our chest stretch. So I'm going to use this pole here, but you can use a wall or a doorway or anything that you can place your hand on. Your palm is open, facing away from you, and all you're going to do is keep that shoulder down and turn gently away from it. This is for a nice, gentle chest stretch. You'll feel it in your chest as well as kind of through your armpit and maybe even onto your arm. We're going to hold the stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds. Make sure you're not shrugging your shoulders, and also make sure that you don't let that shoulder roll forward. Keep it rolled back and get that nice big stretch. We want to make sure we do that on both sides. So I just flip to the other side and again open it up. Now the key is if you feel one side tighter than the other, spend a little bit more time on that tighter side, or go back to it a second time, just to help balance it out. The next one I'm going to show you is called the hang back stretch. You're going to hold on to anything that's not going to move. You can use a bar, a fence. I'm going to use this pole right here. Anything that's not going to move, you put your hands on it, and all you're going to do is kind of sit your hips back, making sort of an L shape with your body, and you're hanging back. You're going to feel a nice stretch through the back of your arms, through your lat muscles, all the way down to your hips. From here, what we're going to do is just bend one knee, and that pushes the opposite hip backwards. Now you're going to feel that stretch more specifically on one side, and then you just switch and press the other hip back. So see how I bent one knee but one leg is straight? This is the side I'm stretching now. And you can kind of go back and forth, pressing your hips backwards. Getting that nice lower back stretch. So you again, 20 to 30 seconds on each side. The next stretch we're going to do is the calf stretch. So I'm going to continue to use this pole. And we have 2 parts to this stretch. You can use a stair, a curb, a wall, anything that you can place your toes on. Now to get this calf stretch right here in the back of your leg, you want your toe up as far as you can. Then the key is to stand tall, and we're going to push our hips forwards towards the wall. We're not going to get a stretch if we do this. So it's all about bringing those hips forwards until you feel that stretch in that calf muscle. So hold that again 20 to 30 seconds, and then what you're going to do is bend the knee. So I haven't moved my body. All I've done is simply bent the knee. And now the knee is pressing in towards the wall or the pole, and you're going to feel that stretch go a little bit lower to your Achilles tendon. Okay, so we've got the calf stretch with the straight leg, but then we bend the knee to get the Achilles stretch. Those are two important ones to do together. Don't just do the calf, make sure you do the calf and then the Achilles. And then switch sides, of course, starting with that straight leg, hips forward, 20 to 30 seconds, and then bend the knee to get that Achilles tendon. The last one, standing up, we're going to do is our hamstring stretch. So you bring one foot forwards. We're going to sit our hips backwards. Keep the spine tall and strong. Shoulders are relaxed. And you're going to feel the stretch in the back of this leg. The toes are lifted up. And as long as you're keeping your spine strong, you should feel the stretch in the back of your hamstring. Okay? So again, do that on both sides. Toes forwards or toes up. Heel forwards, push your hips back, support yourself on the leg that you're standing on, not the one you're stretching. That way you're not going to accidentally hyperextend that knee. So you're supporting yourself on the bent leg, not the straight leg. Again, nice flat back. You never feel the stretch if you round, so keep that chest lifted, push your hips back. The final stretch that we're going to do today is going to be our hip flexor stretch. So I want you to come on down. You can do this one standing or kneeling. I prefer to do it kneeling. But what you're going to do is bring one foot forward so you're kneeling on one knee. Now if this is uncomfortable, you can double up your mat so that it's a little bit more comfortable underneath that knee. And then the hip flexor is right in here, okay? So we're not necessarily stretching down here. We're stretching up here a little bit higher. The key with this one, I call it the Michael Jackson. You're going to take your hip bucket and you're going to go hee-hee and tuck it under. That's the first part to get this stretch. Once you've done the Michael Jackson, hee-hee, you're going to take those hips and you're going to bring them forwards. So now if you have tight hip flexors like I do, you're not going to be able to go very far forwards. But you should feel a nice intense stretch in the front of your hip. If you don't do the Michael Jackson and you do this, you're never going to get that stretch right in here. Okay, so you've got to tuck under and then lean forwards. Now the second part of that stretch is to take the arm of whatever knee is on the ground, reach it up, and gently lean over your body. That's going to open up that hip just a little bit more. So you do that on both sides. So from the front, I've got my Michael Jackson. I'm tucking under, so now I'm going to feel it right here in that hip flexor joint. I'm leaning into it to open up that stretch. And then I take that arm, bring it up, and gently lean over it. The arm is secondary, so if you're not feeling the stretch before, don't add the arm until you feel that stretch. That's the secondary part. And you've got it. So if you're standing up, if you're not doing that hip flexor stretch kneeling down, you do the same thing standing up. Stagger your feet. Michael Jackson, tuck under. So notice how I've had to roll up onto the toes of the back foot, then push that hip forwards until you feel that stretch. And then from here you can add the arm and lean away from it. So you can do that one kneeling or standing. So make sure you do all of those stretches after your workouts every time you complete this workout video. And get ready and get excited for what's to come for our second video of our Back to Fitness series.